Well, welcome to Medical Terminology. This is a course that I really enjoy teaching, and I hope that you enjoy taking the course. I wanted to do this little welcome and introduction because the last time we taught this course, and this is the second time it's been taught completely online, there was a lot of confusion early in the semester about the many aspects of the course. Some students, as you can see in this slide, it's a very large enrollment course. It's very diverse. Some students have had a fair amount of coursework. I've had people who are getting ready to go off to medical school, for instance, who've taken this course and they're enrolled along with freshmen, and it may be their first or second semester. They may have very little experience with Blackboard and online education. So it's a very diverse population of students. In fact, some of the students that are in this course are not pursuing a medical profession, although most people are going into dentistry, respiratory care, nursing, pharmacology, etc. And I think that working with other students within your groups, and I'll talk about groups in a second, people with experience and background will be able to help those who are not quite as experienced, and that gives you more camaraderie within the feeling of the course. So one of the first activities you'll do is to join a group, and when you read through the syllabus you'll see that I've got the individual groups laid out. You'll be joining based upon the first letter of your last name, and I've actually found that this generates a pretty good mix of people within the groups. So when you read through the syllabus and you go through the lessons in the Blackboard site, this should be, I think, well described. It's really important in a course like this to become extremely familiar with the syllabus and to look at each section of each lesson as you go through from week to week. Since there are 220 students, actually more than 220 in this course, I really can't overemphasize the fact that it's difficult for me to handle 2 and 3 emails from 220 students. That's not to say that I don't respond to emails, but because I do. But if you're sending me an email because you didn't fulfill your responsibility to read the syllabus, etc., that makes it tougher for everybody. So please make sure that you take this very seriously when I say read the syllabus. If you still have questions after you've joined your group, post questions to your group. I've got teaching assistants who have had this course that are assigned to each one of the groups, and although they're full-time students also, they will be spending time going through the discussion boards and trying to answer questions. Other students in your group might already know the answer to your question, so I really encourage you to post your questions to your groups and give that time to be processed, and hopefully you'll come up with answers before you have to finally email me. Again, this is a very complicated course in that there are a lot of things that you need to do on a weekly basis. However, I believe that we have things pretty well laid out. Still, you have to be a self-starter. You have to make sure you're responsible for doing each part of the activities each week, and in some cases the documentation that's required, and we'll take a look at some of that documentation in just a second. So let's try and do that. Let's go to the Blackboard site, and as I scroll down I get to my accounts in Blackboard. And we'll take a look at a Blackboard site that's going to be very similar to the one that I'm going to have posted in the spring. And it will always come up to the announcements page. Now the announcements that are here are actually there from last year. They won't be copied into the site yet. All of my announcements will be new. But you'll be able to find the syllabus over on the left hand side, and again, select the syllabus, read through it very carefully. If you have questions and you need to contact me, it's in my contact information's in the syllabus, and it's also in faculty information. When you get into course content, this is the meat and potatoes, and I'm going to select lessons from the beginning. And the first lesson we've got is called Getting Started. And this is the instructor's Blackboard site. Yours is going to look slightly different than this. We've got a welcome letter that'll be in there that will re-emphasize some of these aspects. A syllabus review that you'll go through. You'll be able to join the group that we talked about. An MTI orientation, which is Medical Terminology Interactive, and that is an online site with a number of activities that you'll do that are going to reinforce the terminology that's covered in each of the chapters. You were supposed to purchase a custom text from the Boise State Bookstore. I have worked with the publishers to make sure that that text only contains the chapters that I'm going to teach. And it also, when you purchase that, you also purchase access to their MedTerm Interactive site, which you'll have to register for, and we'll be explaining that also. I'm going to have you introduce yourself to your group. And like I said, first you'll join your group, then you'll be able to utilize those people in that cohort and be able to communicate with them on a frequent basis. In fact, each week you'll have Blackboard postings when we have articles. And I'll talk more about the articles as we go along through the course. There are two ways that you're going to be able to work with students in the course and with me. One of the ways to do that is something called Blackboard Collaborate. And if you're going to do Collaborate, we have some common Collaborate slides and information for students. And I'm going to also be posting, and you'll see it below, a little quiz about dates and times that the majority of students would be able to work with me live, as I'm doing right now, essentially with a headset and microphone, being able to talk to you about terms that we have in reading assignments, questions that you have. I'll probably go off on some tangents and talk about my experience in the critical care unit. But the Blackboard Collaborate sessions, again, are live. If you want to talk, you'll have to have a headset and microphone. If you don't have a headset and microphone, you can type in a chat window. And we'll have more information for you about Blackboard Collaborate. In fact, I can show you where Collaborate is going to be. When we get to the timing for that, again, I'm probably going to have 2 days and times of the week that will work well for my schedule and hopefully for the maximum number of students possible. So that's the Blackboard site. Each week as we go through it, we'll go through lessons. Lesson 1 is going to be related to Chapter 1, so each week you've got a lesson in the chapter. All of the activities that you have for that week are contained, and you'll be able to march through. When you get to the structure of medical language, in this first one, you'll note that we've got some recordings that you'll be listening to and working through on a worksheet as we go through, and the vast majority of the lessons will be case study based from my experience in the critical care unit. So you'll be using the worksheet to follow along and answer questions and translate terms, translate acronyms and abbreviations, which are very important in communicating in the hospital. And these are some of the activities that you're going to wind up doing then as you work through each of these sections. So I'll log out of that. So again, hopefully you'll be able to carefully read the syllabus, find out everything that you need to do, go through each of the lessons so that you can earn the highest grade possible in this course. So each week you're going to have to go through each section of the lesson. There are going to be weeks when we have quizzes that are posted in these lessons. Those weeks will be followed by exams which will be posted. And since a lot of medical terminology is drill and practice, you'll find that the second and third and obviously the final exam will be cumulative. Now, as we talked about, you can either participate with me live in the Collaborate sessions, or you can participate within your group in discussion board. So each week you'll have an article to read typically. I will post some questions or things that I want you to think about, and then you can either use the Collaborate session, which lasts an hour, or you can do several discussion board postings that respond to the questions that I have, that you will also be responding to other people's posts and give you more opportunity to truly interact as you would in a normal course. At the end of each week, you're going to be documenting your participation by taking a quiz, which I have in quotes there. The quiz is true/false. It says, yes, I either participated in Collaborate or discussion board, or no, I did not. Each week that you've got a quiz, and it'll be towards the end of the lesson. At the end of the semester, I will total up the number of weeks that you actually completed these quizzes, and then you will get that portion of participation points based upon the number of weeks that you documented your participation. Each of those true/false questions says that it's worth 1 point, but that really has no bearing on your grade. It's really the number of weeks that you documented your participation. Now remember, if you documented that you did discussion board or that you documented that you did Collaborate, but you didn't actually participate, I can find that out. So you want to make sure that your responses are true. Now, another thing that's going to be a large portion of the course is called Midterm Interactive. This is a very good set of activities from the publisher that comes from their website. And this was a major cause of concern, I guess, and problems early in the semester the first time that we did this. So I want to make sure that you understand that you have to follow the directions very carefully to do 2 things. One is, when you purchased your textbook, you got an access code. This is the custom textbook from the bookstore. You need that access code to register for the MTI site, the Midterm Interactive site. When you register, you must use the same name that you've got displayed in Blackboard. I've got, for instance, women who got married, and they've got one name in Blackboard and their married name in Midterm Interactive. I have to be able to put those 2 grade sheets, I have to put them together. In order for me to align these names, they have to be the same. So please use the same name. I'm going to take us to that site, and I'm going to show you a video that I want you to watch. It's a tutorial. They also have a PowerPoint. I'm going to post that on this Blackboard site, and you can also get to it from the Midterm Interactive site. But I want to just show you a couple of very important things. So let's go to myhealthprofessionskit.com. So this is the first screen that comes up, and since we're registering for Midterm Interactive, we're going to go to the bottom and click here, and then you come to a very large screen with a number of different textbook covers. It's very important that you select the textbook cover with the scuba diver on it. This is Medical Language Immerse Yourself by Turley. Do not select any other textbook covers, or you will not get your scores for Midterm Interactive over to me. Now, before you select that cover, what I want you to do, and I wish they'd made this a little bit more obvious, they have Medical Terminology Interactive Tours and Training. So I'm going to select that, and since you are new students, they have New Student Registration, which is a short video. They also have the PowerPoint that goes through what you need to do to get registered on the course, or on the MedTerm Interactive site and then join my course. I have a course site that's set up in MedTerm Interactive that will automatically record all of your scores for the activities that you do. They also have a printable document that explains this process, and they've got a student user guide. Just for fun, I'm going to try and bring up this overview video.
Hi, this is going to be a short training video on how to get going in Medical Terminology Interactive as a new student user.
So this is one of the developers.
Right here, this is where you go to get started. But before you go to the website, you need two things. Number one, you need an access code for Medical Terminology Interactive. If you purchased a new Medical Terminology textbook, your access code would come packaged with your textbook.
And the access code is in your textbook.
The access code will be printed inside the front cover of your textbook. If you haven't yet purchased an access code, I'm going to show you how you can buy one online.
And you don't have to buy one online. You've already purchased an access code. And then you have a class ID, which I will give you. So once again, I want you to watch the video or go through the PowerPoint or go through their printable document. But please take this very seriously and go through these steps before you try to register and join my course. If you don't do that, there are going to be problems. So make sure you follow these directions exactly. When it asks you for a course code, this is to join my class. The course code is CM473836. It's all lowercase. There are no spaces between the letters and the numbers. Make sure you use that correct course code. And like I said, make sure that you select the textbook with the scuba diver on the cover when you're registering for the site. Make sure you use the same name that is listed for you on Blackboard. Otherwise, I won't be able to put you together, the scores on Blackboard and the scores on MTI. They just won't go together. Now, as I said, this is a really diverse class, and I try to keep it challenging for people who are seniors and ready to go to medical school. And I don't want to overwhelm the people who are freshmen and this is their first or second course. So please understand that I'm trying to serve a large group, not just teaching you the language, because my main goal for you is to be able to communicate in the hospital or in a medical setting. This is something that's going to be your language when you go to work in your profession. So spelling, pronunciation, acronyms, abbreviations, these are the ways that we communicate in the hospital. So I really do want to make this a well-rounded course that is functional for you after graduation. The other thing that's part of the course is that you're going to do a project which is described in the syllabus, because as students, most people only know textbooks. After graduation, you're going to be reading journals in your field. And I really want you to be prepared for that. I want you to understand what the journals are, at least 3 of the journals in your field, and show you that after you've got a little bit of medical terminology background, that you really can read these medical journals and get something valuable out of them. And I hope you find something valuable, very valuable in this course. I thoroughly enjoy teaching it, and I hope you enjoy it.